Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, did you see this news? Well, it broke last week, and it's one of those things where when the news broke, everybody I know was getting in touch with me, messaging me, calling me. I met them in the pub. Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Isn't it just like The Thing? Well, no, it isn't. But in a funny kind of way, it does seem to remind you of The Thing. What am I talking about? I'm talking about that poor Australian expeditioner. There's a word I've never heard before, expeditioner. I've heard of expeditionists, but expeditioner. And he was working at the Casey outpost in Antarctica, right? Not Outpost 31. This is part of the Australian Antarctic Division, and they've got 3 outposts there, and this is just one of them. Very isolated. And normally during the summer, the long summer where the sun never dips below the horizon, you have 150 people working there, all sorts of surveyors, geologists, scientists, people with dog kennels, helicopter pilots with severe drink problems. Cheers, you all. 150 people work there during the summertime, but they've all nearly gone now, and you've got a ragtag skeleton crew of maintenance people there throughout the winter months, and topping at most about 20 people. Well, one of them, an Australian man, fell mysteriously ill. I'm not making any of these words up, by the way. This is how it was first brought to our attention last week, with a mysterious developing medical condition and needed to be evacuated. They didn't give his name, and they didn't give what the medical condition was. And because of the bad weather, the distances, and the fact that we're only just coming out, well, Antarctica is just coming out of its long winter into the summer. So suddenly the sun, because the winter time, the sun never comes up above the horizon. So it's been this fledgling crew who've been at this outpost for the last few months. But in the last week or so, they've transitioned, and it's now the summertime. So you're getting the sun coming up. But it's only a few days into that. So the weather's still really bad, and you couldn't fly out there. You couldn't send a plane out there. You couldn't send helicopters out there. So what did they do? They sent the RSV Nuina, which is an icebreaker. Great at parties. And that had, I think, I wrote this down somewhere, let me see, 300 kilometers to go to get there. Now, the emergency broke last week, and they were saying, oh, it could take days, it could take weeks to get there, depending on the ice flows and all that. But this vessel ploughed its way through, and it got there a couple of days ago. But on Thursday now, I think it was on Sunday or Monday, it arrived 89 miles away, 89 kilometers away from, no, got that wrong, 144 kilometers away. That's 89 miles from Casey Outpost. So it couldn't go any further. So it deployed its 2 helicopters to fly out there. I mean, that kind of distance, they could do that. So they arrived and they medevaced this guy out, and he's now on the RSV Nuina and making its way back to Tasmania. Now, they've got a specialised medical crew on board, and they've also got a team of doctors and specialists from the Royal Hobart Hospital in Tasmania. That's where they're going back to. They're going to Tasmania. And but again, they've stressed, and this is the weird thing, which piques your interest about what has happened to this guy. Why did he need all this, emergency medical rescue and evacuation? And why did he broadcast it and, make it newsworthy when this sort of thing probably happens in reality a lot more than you think? But they created an aura of mystery about this. So they're still saying, well, we're not going to divulge this. Their words. We're not going to divulge his name or his developing. They keep using this phrase, developing medical condition, for his own privacy reasons. That's understandable. You wouldn't expect it, but it's just the phraseology is kind of strange. So they said, we've got a specialist crew on board, so we'll take care of him, we'll get him back to hospital. And then they said as well, that all other staff at all our divisions, outposts for the Australian Antarctica Division, 3 outposts, are all accounted for and are safe. What the hell happened? Do you see what I mean, folks? That's actually strange wording. All the other members of staff are accounted for and are safe. If you've got to do a head count and find out if everyone's there. They were obviously out somewhere else, and maybe someone else went missing or something happened to somebody else and they haven't been recovered yet. These are things that fuel the imagination, especially in people like me and all my mates who are really giving it loads. They're going, "You've got to do a video on this." And in all honesty, I meant to do a video last week about the developing situation. And then, of course, it kind of died down a bit. And I only checked into it today and found, oh my God, they've actually got him. Because the last I heard, it could take days, it could take a couple of weeks to get there, depending on the ice, obviously. But clearly it wasn't that bad. But the mystery still remains. And in the last, this year, we've had so many weird situations. Need I remind you of the Nicola Bully going missing a few months ago, which I reported on quite extensively, and the police being completely imbecilic, and then what they termed as TikTok detectives going out to the scene of the incident and trying to work out what happened, and the big backlash against social media. Do not speculate. Well, the police created that atmosphere and the mainstream media created that atmosphere. I'm not going to go into it now. I reported on it massively at the time, and I do feel that I'll probably talk more about it later when some more details will come out. But this thing about you shouldn't speculate, it depends how it's reported. You look at this case again, Antarctica, the world's last great wilderness, also a region, a huge continent of uncharted, unmined, fantastic qualities, minerals and other scientific and geological delights, possibly pyramids, possibly Nazi UFO bases, possibly alien bases. Admiral Byrd went there with an armada, a US Navy armada. Google it, the things he saw and witnessed, and all of his crew as well. It's well documented, but never talked about. But Antarctica is one of those regions where, Christ, anything could happen, That's why you've got lots of geological expeditions and outposts there. No one country can lay claim to Antarctica, so you've got other people in the Antarctic Treaty who can go there, and they're not Swedish, Mac, they're Norwegian. Yeah, a lot of Norwegians go there as well. We're there, America's there, the Russians are there, Chinese are there as well, but Australia's there. And this incident happened to this guy. But as I say, they haven't disclosed what his condition is. They didn't have to mention it at all. The whole evacuation thing, the guy in charge of the RSV Nuyina said that, this has happened before. And, there was some jeopardy with this because of the timing of the year and the seasons and the weather and the imperative nature of getting this guy to safety and the proper medical attention that he needs. So, there was a bit of a, race against time to try and get this done. So he bigged it up, but also this is what we do. This is what we have to do, and we accept the challenge. And it worked so far. Phase 1 is successful. They got there. They've picked him up. They're on the way back now. That's phase 2, getting back to Royal Hobart in Tasmania. Now, but again, it comes down to, did you have to report on this in the first place? Did you have to make it like global news? Because if it happens more often than you think, why is it such a real issue? And there was a bit of a backlash last week about the expense. I haven't got the facts and figures of the expense of all this, of sending out this icebreaker and these helicopters and these specialised crews and medical teams. I haven't got the data on that. But there was a bit of a backlash saying, all this to save one man, and you're going to put those lives at risk on the RSV, on the ship itself, the icebreaker, and the helicopter crews, and all of that. Why? Just, which is a bit, that's a bit our-ass. That's a phrase we use around here, but it means you're a bit hard-faced and a bit harsh. It's a bit our-ass, that, isn't it? But they've gone out there and they've rescued him. But we don't know what his condition is. They have not said. And what is this developing medical condition? Well, if you look it up, I did, it tends to mean disease, accident, or a developing medical condition. So the actual definition of a developing medical condition is a developing medical condition. Well, duh, you know. But that first one, disease. So it spiked a lot of debates that I've had with people about this, who were trying to liken it to the thing. Has some alien organism been found and he's been infected? They quarantined him, but they've got to get him out, you know. Which of course goes against the whole idea and ethos of John Carpenter's movie, where don't take them back to civilization, whatever you do, unless they're all things. And they send this guy out, you know, they'll think we've done the right thing, to save his life, but really he's infected too. You see what it's done to me? Now, I'm thinking like that now. But they do probe around in frozen wastes, obviously, and you find microbes which have been frozen. They find bacteria. They find all sorts of old primitive life forms within, you know, the depths of the ice sheets, and they go deeper down and all that. So, is it some kind of weird, I don't know, bacteria that he's picked up? They've drilled into it. They've took it back. Oh, let's analyse this. Some idiot threw like a hot blanket over it, and it melted the ice, and suddenly, I don't know, folks. But I mean, and I don't mean to make light of it either, because quite clearly there's a guy whose health is, well, pretty bad. So we wish him all the best and a speedy and safe recovery, and hopefully, because they've almost manufactured this kind of allure of mystique surrounding this incident, that they come clean and say, oh, he had, I don't know, what did he have? What? See, again, the mystery comes in. If it's an ongoing medical condition, it's a disease that's getting worse and worse and worse. Was it an accident? Was it a murder attempt? Did someone attack him? You don't know. That phrase about all other, personnel are accounted for and are safe. Safe from what? And I got a message before, and people were saying, like, well, because I was talking about this, I'll do a video on it. And they go, well, they sent 2 helicopters. Why did they send 2 helicopters? Well, that kind of makes sense. You've got a backup helicopter. So you've got a team who are going to fly out there and pick this guy up and put him in the back of the helicopter. And these are quite chunky helicopters, these. And then you're going to have maybe more medical teams in case there's something else which they didn't expect. So they're going to have a backup team there as well. Plus you're going to bring all his belongings out, I would suppose. So all his souvenirs, little little discs full of blood, blood samples, a flamethrower or 2, a few bottles of J&B. Oh, which reminds me again, I've actually got my trusty bottle of J&B in the bar in the front room, which I keep forgetting I've got it, because we hardly ever use the bar anymore. It's great, it's a great feature, and it's great when you do use it. But I've got a bottle of J&B, which is still half full, from, I got about 18 months ago. It's still there. I haven't drunk it all yet. And I keep running out of this stuff and then going, I've got to get more whiskey. After there's one there, I always forget about it. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, unnamed personnel expeditioner with an ongoing medical condition of mysterious origins. But you see what I mean? I'm not sort of trying to hype this up with hyperbole and all that. I'm not trying to make something out of this that isn't there. It's the media, again, have created this, and it's that thing about speculation. Now, I've got a great imagination, and I'm The Thing is my favourite movie of all time, as you guys well know. And The Thing itself, the husky is right there, right on the floor there, fast asleep. She's been out in the blazing sun again. So we're the exact polar opposite of what Antarctica's going through. Frozen waste, absolutely driving winds of completely freezing air, and which your skin will blister, freeze, and you'll get frostbite within seconds if it's exposed. And we're sitting here, sweating our tits off because it's an unbelievably and unseasonal heat wave at the moment in the UK, and it really is horrible. In a way, it's kind of nice to talk about Antarctica because it's kind of cooling me down in a way. But the husky's lying there because she's been out and she's now just like. You think, oh, she wants snow and ice. Well, she's never seen snow and ice. But in her deep down DNA, that's what she wants. That's what she craves. But she's never really experienced it. So what does she know? But yeah, I hope this guy recovers and we get to know more about it, because this whole thing of speculation, they, meaning the media, create this void. Oh, and the phraseology. I'll say it again, this guy had to be evacuated because he had, it was a mysterious ailment at the time, a mysterious malady. I forget the way it was termed now, but the word mysterious was used in the initial reporting, which fueled, the imagination and speculation. And then, he has a developing medical condition, needs specialised care and attention. They've got to get him out. They've got to get him out and get him back to civilization. And then, of course, everyone else is accounted for and they're safe. Well, take it at face value. Yeah, everyone's great, but why would you report that? Maybe because other journalists have been saying, well, has he got a disease? Is everybody else all right? In that context, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, don't worry about a thing. Everyone else is fine. Okay, nothing to see here, folks. There's hardly anybody here anyway to see anything, so don't worry about it. But bring him back. He's going to be all right. Well, they haven't said that much. But it is just weird terminology. And I think the way that it got reported, and I've seen videos on this, and I heard the news report. Well, I looked at the news report today, because it broke the other day about him being rescued, and I didn't know nothing about it. So I finally got up to speed, and I thought, well, I better do that bloody video then, hadn't I? Because I meant to do it anyway. But it's a good excuse to play John Carpenter's fantastic soundtrack to The Thing. Of course, you're actually hearing John Carpenter's music now, but the main score, of course, is Ennio Morricone. But cheers, Big John. Cheers, Ennio. Cheers, everybody. And cheers, all you things out there, and all you Swedes. They're not Swedish, Matt, they're Norwegian. I don't know. Let's get the main theme on again. Because it's just too damn good to waste the opportunity. So yeah, we will not divulge his name or the medical condition. They haven't got to. I wouldn't really go over the top on that, because I respect his privacy. Is it AIDS? Is it, of course, another big pandemic beginning? Is he patient X? See, now I'm thinking again, because they've given us such, well, the breadcrumbs to chew on and think, another little nugget there, but it could mean nothing. But the way they've said it is just shrouded in so much enigma. This could be, the zombie apocalypse. This guy comes back. Oops, we should have left him there. Oh shit. Maybe, the RSV, Noyina, just like a ghost ship just keeps ploughing into the docks in Tasmania. But they're not stopping. Think Lost World, Jurassic Park 2. And the Relic, of course. Could be all sorts going on. But for us with feverish imaginations and a love of horror and sci-fi and the entire genre surrounding what if and the apocalypse, they've bled this in to what our fever dreams are all about. So anyway, as I say, wish him well. Antarctica, love to go there. I don't know about you guys, I would dearly love to go there. And you can. Well, I can. Because I'm now at the age where the Viking cruise ships do a lot of tours around Europe. They go up the Danube and they go around the coast of Norway and they go to Iceland as well, and all sorts of places. Well, they've broadened the horizons somewhat, and they're going down to Antarctica. They've been, and they have scientific teams on board, and you can go down in submersibles and other vessels and bring back samples we found underneath the icebergs, and bring them back and work on them. Well, it's in the bloody big commercial for them, but Viking cruises are for people over a certain age, and Kilty is over that certain age. Yes, I'm 25. No, it's much more than that. Double it a little bit. But yeah, I'd be very, very interested in doing that. Looks amazing. The big advert for Viking cruises now, but they do look really superb vessels, and that's an interesting idea as well. You're not just going to like vineyards on your day out. You know, the cruise ship docks somewhere. You have a little day trip out. You go to Seville. You go to, I don't know, you're on the Rhine or whatever, and you go to like vineyards and rural restaurants, but you've got to get back to the boat in time and all that. No, this is going to take you all the way to Antarctica. Well, there's no vineyards down there, and there ain't no restaurants either, I don't think. But there is a pub down there. I forgot the name of it now. It's the most southerly pub in the world, but it is a pub. But you know, depending on what research base or outpost you go to, it could be thousands and thousands of miles away from you. It's a very big place, Antarctica, with a lot of mysteries and secrets. Don't you deep down, truly, sincerely, wish that something really, genuinely alien and mysterious was at play here? I know that sounds really awful and crass. There's a guy's health at stake here, but he might not be human anymore anyway. God. No, it is intriguing and it fuels the imagination, and that's what your daily life is full of, the harsh realities of the grind of paying the bills, of going out to your job, looking after the kids, doing this, doing that. Oh God, you've got all this all the time. That's a constant, you've got that. You need little avenues of escape, avenues of imagination, and it could be sparked just by watching a movie, by playing a bit of music, by reading a book, by putting on a t-shirt which reflects your favourite movie. Anything that fires the imagination and gets, the stimulus going, fires up those neurons or neurons or whatever, and gets your brain thinking outside the box, thinking what if, what could be, imagine if, because that's where real creativity comes from. You get movies, you get books, you get art from people that have, hang on, I'm sick of the rat race, I'm going to just think about, I'll take a sideways look at reality and I'll create something. Be it movie, be it book, be it a sculpture, be it a piece of music, be it whatever. But that's what imagination is for. And we've all got it. But most people I encounter don't tend to exploit it or use it very, very well. Although, when this story broke, seemingly everybody was like on my case about it. It's the thing. You must love this. And I was like, but it's not. It's just a sick guy being brought back for medical attention. And then the more I thought about it, and the more people were talking about it and sending me messages, and I was like, oh my God, yes it is. Similar to the thing. Oh, it's just, it's Antarctica. Yeah, I get that. But it's not an alien parasite. An alien that can, assume the identity of any other living organism and mimic them perfectly, Or is it? Who the hell knows? Folks, I have been always shall be Kilt-Man. Please, in the meantime, in this ever freezing yet bloody roasting hot, mysterious in-between time, please keep it kilted. Keep it kilted. And I am going to see you all. Laters. You realise that, of course, that when they arrive at that outpost and the helicopters come down to pick this stricken man up, it's not the first goddamn week of winter. It's the first goddamn week of summer. Oh, the connections. See? It's all, your synapses are all firing things off now, aren't they? What could be? Folks, gonna see you all later. I've got another unboxing or unpacking to do later on. Gotta go out, gotta socialise again. This is a family socialising event, but I'll be back in a wee bit and I'll be unboxing this mysterious artifact. So, just be yourselves, be careful, and wear snow goggles. When you're out in the snow and ice, you can be blinded. The sun hits the snow. Not a good thing. Where am I going with this now? Look, see, even Kentucky Fudge is wearing his snow goggles, which are the closest replication or mimic that I can get to McCready's snow goggles from The Thing. Right, folks, I genuinely have to go. So, if we've got any surprises for each other, we're not much here to do anything about it.